Hi Jess, my name's Claire. I'm one of the student midwives here. The staff over at the Midwifery group practice asked me to see you and let you talk about your pregnancy and some of the planning that we can do together to help keep you and Bub nice and healthy. How are you feeling in this pregnancy?
Oh, it's going so well. I'm feeling really, really excited. My whole family's excited. I think I'm about 3 months along now, which is exciting. But the midwives were mentioning that my bub was maybe a little bit bigger than normal, and I'm really feeling it as well. I've been exhausted over the last sort of week or so. I'm constantly hungry, constantly snacking. I don't have enough time for my 18-month-old that's at home. And I've just noticed a bit of weight gain as well. It's been a little bit stressful. I didn't have that during my first pregnancy.
Okay, look, I just want to acknowledge straight off the bat that this can be quite a sensitive topic. And if at any time you are more than welcome to ask us to stop and we can just move on to something else. Would you feel comfortable? Is it okay if we continue to talk about this?
Yeah, definitely comfortable. 100% comfortable.
Fantastic. Look, it sounds like you're feeling pretty zapped, and you did mention this weight gain. Tell me a little bit more about your energy levels at the moment.
Oh, my energy levels have just been completely low. I've been so sluggish and tired and unmotivated between looking after the 18-month-old, work, home life, maintaining relationships. I just haven't had energy for anything. I get home, I jump on the couch, I just want to watch telly and put my feet up. And then that also just ends up in snacking. I need an energy hit, so I'm going for the chocolate, I'm going for the chips, I'm going for those nice, easy snacks that are just in the cupboard and ready to go. And they are like meeting my cravings, but I don't know, it's just meaning that I'm not getting enough sleep, not having enough energy for my life. Yeah, it's getting a bit down, really.
God, it sounds like you're exhausted. Are you able to squeeze in any like movement or any activity around this for yourself?
Yeah, not at all. Like I used to be pretty good doing some swimming, but I'm just too tired at the moment. When I went and saw my GP before falling pregnant, she did a BMI at that point, and I think it was around 30, which she was a little bit concerned about. I think it was a little bit high. And so I was getting into a nice exercising routine, but since falling pregnant, I've maybe put on about 5 kilos now that I've stopped exercising and my diet's gotten a bit worse. And yeah, that's adding extra pressure and stress to me and to my husband as well. Yeah.
Gosh, all right. Look, it sounds stressful. What I'm hearing you say though is that your BMI was already in a bit of a high risk group before this pregnancy. And now it's increased again into something slightly more high risk as well with this additional weight gain, which is a bit higher than what we'd recommend as a safe range.
Yeah.
Would you say that's a correct summary of what you've just mentioned?
Yeah, definitely a correct summary.
Yeah. So, look, a lot of people are concerned about managing their weight during pregnancy. It's incredibly common. And I get the sense that this has been causing you some stress. It's tricky for everyone, but what we would expect normally is about 0.5 to around 2 kilos of weight gain per trimester, and overall for someone within your BMI range, probably only about 5 to 9 kilos over the entire course of that pregnancy.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything beyond that, we start to see some risks for both mum and bub. So there's some danger for that pregnancy. What kind of things do you know about already about weight gain in pregnancy and some of the risks there?
Yeah, I probably don't know a whole lot. I definitely had a family member that had gestational diabetes during her last pregnancy, but all I really recall from that was that she had to go to hospital a lot more often, had to have more blood tests done, and her pregnancy was monitored a lot more closely. I think she also might have had high blood pressure at that point as well, and she started on medications, and I don't take any medications at the moment. I don't really have any other medical history, so that's something that I really want to try and avoid as much as possible.
Yeah, look, hearing that you are worried about these things, and you're actually right. You know a bit more than you think you do. So yeah, both of those things are correct. We do see some increase in gestational diabetes and changes in increasing blood pressure. So those are 2 things that you've already nailed. But some of the other things that we see is actually an increased rate of women requiring to have a C-section.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then also a few more difficulties delivering vaginally as well, because you've got a bigger bub, it's a bit more work, and then these sorts of things as well. If you've got the diabetes and the high blood pressure, there are further complications later on in life as well for mum as well as bub.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, that's all a bit stressful and overwhelming to hear, and it's normal to be worried about these kinds of things. What kind of other things come to mind to address the challenges that you're having with your weight at the moment? Has anything worked for you in the past? Has this ever been a problem before?
Yeah, I've definitely had issues with my weight in the past, and I've sort of managed it with swimming and a healthier diet. But I guess that was before I had my last baby as well, so I had a lot more time, probably energy as well to go out and pursue some of those activities. But I guess this time around, I've stopped exercising, I've put on all that weight, I'm just eating unhealthily. So I guess I really need to sort of maybe try and get back into the pool and maybe have some healthier snacks opposed to just going for those sugar and carby snacks.
Yeah, look, swimming is a great low impact sport. That's absolutely fantastic. It's really good for pregnancy. And these are all great ideas. How important do you think for the future is it for you to make these changes right now?
I'm seeing that it's sort of can turn to a higher risk with this weight increase. So it's something that's really important to me for the future. Like, I want to be able to maintain my relationship with my little child and with my husband as well, and also maintain the work and life balance. So I think having more energy and having a healthy pregnancy is definitely something that's high on my responsibilities and
Fantastic. Look, sounds like you're on the right kind of track. Let's go through a few scenarios. So I'm going to use a scale of 1 to 10, and let's kind of gauge of where we're at the moment. So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not at all ready and 10 being completely ready, how would you kind of rate your readiness to get into this right now and start using some of those goals?
Yeah, I think I'd rate it as an 8. Like, I can recognise now more so how important it is, but I can just see as well it's going to be really difficult to achieve those goals.
Yeah, good. So you're kind of able to recognise your limitations there, which is fantastic. And then using a scale of 1 to 10 again, how confident do you feel in yourself that you're going to be able to achieve these goals?
I'd say an 8 as well. Yeah, just as I said before, just I can already see there's going to be some challenges, but I am confident that I'll be able to sort of get there.
Fantastic. That's really good. So this is a really good start. You know, earlier it sounded like you were a bit overwhelmed and you're a bit unsure about where to start. And look, if I was in your position, I'd feel the same way too. Pregnancy is hard, and you're already having to manage, these exhaustion, the cravings. You mentioned that you're starting to have some morning sickness. And especially when so much is already changing, it can be really difficult to start making new good habits. But the thing is, if we keep going the way that we're going, we're going to start to run into some difficulties. If you're not nourishing your body and your bum, staying active, and this weight gain continues, we're going to be starting to move into some danger zones. Yeah.
I know. I really need to reach for some healthier options. But I'm just so tired all the time. It's just really hard.
Yeah, look, I completely understand. And you've got some choices up your sleeve now. This is all up to you. This is your body. These are your choices. This is your pregnancy. And you've already offered up some really fantastic ideas. From my experience when I've helped women in the past who've been facing, like I said, this is a really common issue. I've just got some tips and tricks that are quite helpful. Would you be open
I'd love to hear some tips and tricks.
Things?
Yeah, definitely.
Great. So this is an example of the nutritional pyramid. It's organised by Nutrition Australia, and it just gives you a nice visual graph on how you're kind of able to balance your diet a bit better.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see that we're avoiding high-fat foods, avoiding high-sugar foods, because they're going to be giving you quite significant energy slumps.
Yeah.
The other thing that's really great is keeping up your fluid intake.
Yeah, okay.
With your morning sickness and your fatigue as well, you're going to start to feel quite dehydrated, and that's going to make a big difference as well. So just keeping it up, small sips and things like that.
Yeah.
That's a good one. And you've already mentioned this, so I think we're already on the right track. We recommend about 30 minutes of exercise a day. So, like, for example, you mentioned swimming.
Yeah.
Why not join, like, a mama-to-be pregnancy swimming class?
Yeah.
And then not only are you getting that exercise in, but it's an opportunity to meet new people, build a sense of community. You'll be able to, listen to the experience of other women who are experiencing the same things as you and trying to get more active again. What do you think of that?
That sounds fantastic. No one ever mentioned that during my first pregnancy. That's something that I'd be definitely interested in looking into as well. I'd love to get other women's experience as well during pregnancy, so I have a bit more of a well-rounded sort of idea of what's to come.
That sounds great. It sounds like you think it's quite achievable, which compares quite well with how you rated yourself in your readiness and confidence.
Yeah.
So that's kind of starting to mirror up there. I feel confident that if you really wanted to give this a go with the right supports and having, some good planning behind you, this is actually going to be quite achievable for you. Let's kind of summarise on where you'd like to go from here. Can you think of, the things that we've discussed, and we've discussed a lot. What about 3 goals that you can set yourself that you can achieve before we meet again?
Yeah, okay. After having a minute to think about it, I think that the snacking is probably something I do need to change. So I'd really like to look into getting some more nutritious, dense foods to snack on, opposed to just going for those quick and easy, sugary ones. Definitely increasing my fluid intake as well. I'm starting to get some morning sickness, and I'm definitely not maintaining my fluid intake. And just these, pregnancy swimming classes sound fantastic. It's something that I think is really achievable, and I'd love to look into.
Perfect. Sounds like you've put a lot of thought into these goals, and it sounds like you're making some healthy choices that are going to help to address that weight gain in pregnancy. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss with me while we're here?
No, it sounds fantastic. I'm really enthusiastic about what's to come.
All right, fantastic. Well, let's book you in to see you in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I've got this brochure for you, and that's the one from Nutrition Australia that I showed you with that pyramid.
Yeah, thank you.
So you can take that home and just pop it on the fridge. That's a good one. And I'll be really keen to meet you again and see how you're going with your swimming. That sounds good. All right, well, thanks for coming in. Just before you go, is it okay if I just put this into a note on your file, just so that there's a good continuity and we're able to follow you up with other midwives? It just goes to our team. Is that okay?
Of course, definitely. Sounds great.
Perfect. No worries. Well, thank you for coming in. Good luck.
Thank you so much for your
I'm
time.
very excited for you. No worries. Thanks for coming,
you.
Jess. Bye.